Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and I don't know if you can see the side of this box. That's a lie. I know you can see the side of this box. It's right there. This is the Elder Scrolls, Betrayal of a Second Era, and today we're doing an unboxing with my coffee. We do have my coffee. I have my knife just in case I need it, although this is a pre-production copy, which means maybe things inside are in shrink. We'll see, but this part is not in shrink. This is the Elder Scrolls, Betrayal of the Second Era. This can be coming to you from Chip Theory Games. That's that handsome little orange logo down there, but also ZeniMax and Bethesda, because this is, well, the Elder Scrolls. This we've been waiting for a long time, and it is heavy, by the way. It is, oh my gosh, like this 27 pounds, 28 pounds, maybe? Or maybe I'm just a lightweight. I'm probably just a lightweight. I might be both. Both are probably true. The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. Like I said already, this is a pre-production copy, which means a few things. One, we have a nice little rip over here because it's not like packaged like a final production copy. We have, or because I dropped things, maybe it happened after it arrived, and I'm just trying to pretend it's the shipping company's fault. I don't know. Who's really to say? We also have our pre-production notice over here. This, by the way, is as far as I've gotten in the box. I kind of read this, and then I was like, you know what? It's time to do an unboxing, because you might be as excited to see some of the stuff in this box as I am. So, let's dive into the usual few disclaimers before we dive into an unboxing. Number one, don't rest on the box, especially when it's a pre-production copy, and the sides might split. Number two, this is an unboxing and rambling. If you are new to this channel, welcome aboard. When I do unboxings, I will loosely talk about the game. I have played this after all, but I'll also talk about whatever comes to mind. So strap in, get along for the ride, and we'll see where this conversation takes us. Usually it is focused around the game to a degree, although I did just film an unboxing the other day that mostly was focused on a 14-year history of myself and coffee. So you never really know. You never know where these can go. So if you are expecting, I don't know, an unboxing, this might not be the right one for you. If you're expecting chaos, this might be right for you. Anyways, we got a pre-production copy. So this has got like lots of notes over here. So, oh, and timestamps and links and all those things to everything down below. So, pre-production notice, please read carefully prior to coverage. You have possession of one of the scant few pre-production copies, Elder Scrolls, scheduled for release this fall, presently manufacturing. These are used as final proof. We have made several subtle but meaningful changes to the game. So I will read through this all. This represents 4.5 years of work. That's nice. I'm going to read through more of this, preview versus review. The copy has, for all intents, a final copy. So as long as you note that a few things are changing, we are comfortable with you framing your coverage as either a preview or a review, depending on your preference. I don't think I ever fully reviewed this game. I think I gave I gave first impressions, because I only played it once. I had like a single demo session at Chip Theory headquarters with someone off camera pointing a gun at me saying I should say nice things about the game. That didn't happen. Right, Chip Theory? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Anyways, we have box and storage. Please note the way the box is packed. Does include instructions, number of small changes, components, PVC. Okay, great. So, lots of things to go through here. I'm not going to read this all right now because there's a lot of little details. Will they be significant to this unboxing? Most certainly. Is it too late now? I mean, I could change my mind, but I'm not going to. Let's go ahead and dive into this box. This is a very, very heavy box. We have our maps over here. You see, the way this game's going to play out, let's zoom in a drop on this over here. Let's zoom in a bit. Whoa, oh, wrong way. So we're going to drop more over here. The basic idea of Elder Scrolls, a Betrayal of the Second Era, is you're going to go through a sequence of, I believe, 3 linked quests. I should also note that anything I tell you at any point is based on my my knowledge of the game from 1.5 years ago, or somewhere along there, 2 years ago. I don't actually know exactly how far back it was. It was winter. I remember that. Was it winter? It was winter. Anyways, so we have our maps over here. We have the Eastern Skyrim. We have Western Skyrim, which is the complement to Eastern Skyrim. We have Cyrodiil over here. Then we have the other side of Cyrodiil, which is High Rock. And then we have Morrowind, as well as Black Marsh. Now, these are all going to be places that you're going to be wandering around these boards, trying to go to different things, engaging with a set of sequences of going through different interactions and visiting various towns and encountering various baddies and going on delves. But ultimately, you are going through a set of 3 linked quests, which I believe had a kind of round-robin effect, where you can kind of start at any point and go to the next thing, however that would play out. We have this over here. I'm so worried about breaking things as we go because the combination of pre-production, ooh, we got damages. We got dents on their rulebook, which hopefully will not be in your final copy of the game. Like I said, this is pre-production. Let's open this over here. We have our neoprene tile holders. Now, in general, this is going to rehash some conversations we've had in the past, but if you are a fan of Too Many Bones, Elder Scrolls Betrayal of Second Era does have some common DNA. Now, common DNA should not be taken as the same game. They are not the same game, but they have some common DNA, which is exactly what I said the first time. I'm just repeating it now. So there's going to be some similarities. If you've played one, elements of both are going to feel familiar to you, but they're also going to feel very different at the same time. Now, one of the things over here that you're dealing with differently compared to Too Many Bones is you have more of a grid map setup over here. So we have these beautiful terrains over here, these custom, unique... What is the difference over here? Is there a difference? Did you print the exact same thing on both sides of this? Is there any... please tell me that's not the case over here. So we have a treasure chest over here, some barrels over here, and like... Oh, it's going to be the same thing on both sides. Oh no. That feels like a waste. I don't know why that is the way it is, but it is the way it is. Let's show you some smaller tiles over here. Now, these are going to be like your more overland encounters over here. So those are, well, just overland. But then very often in the game, you're going to have delves. So you're going to have like a situation where delve, we start connecting various tiles to various tiles as you go through the dungeon. So you're going to be creating a set of linked tiles over here of different sizes, not all the same sizes. I'm just showing you the ones we have here. Now, are these the same? No, these ones are different. Good job, Chip Theory. You see, you could make them different. I am genuinely confused, by the way, as to why this... Oh, these had to be. These had to be face down because these actually mattered because you are pulling them and you don't know what's coming. So there is a reason why they're different. I don't know why those are the same. But anyways, let's put these ones back over here because we have... I'll show you this tray because this will show you how it like lays out nicely over here. We have these three, which are going to go nicely down into the little depot, their tile depot. And as you can imagine, the next one on top of it is going to be those... this one over here will be directly on top. So we have a few of these. Let's just actually show them to you this way as we go. We can clean up as we show you them. Got some nice realms of lava. The only things that really matter on these are going to be the actual symbols themselves. The rest of it is, well, it doesn't matter. But then we have these over here. I mean, the rest of it's just visual effects. So it's for the immersion to the game, and then the symbols will matter as far as the actual encounters, these delves are going on. Then this goes over here, I guess. I guess it goes here. Feels a little off, but it does work, practically speaking. And this will go on top of there with our single giant hex over here, which I guess technically this wouldn't be a surprise, but we're still going to put it face down. I guess you wouldn't memorize it, although you could memorize it since it's only one of them. And then we're going to put this down on top of it, and there you go. That's going to be your little tile tray neoprene situation. At this point, the way this is structured, like I know it's neoprene because it's chip theory, which they do chips and neoprene, but it may as well be a tile, although these do feel nicer and more premium. They are slightly hard to put away because they don't just slide into place. If you don't layer it exactly, well, it won't slide nicely. Now, putting this all back is going to be tricky. The good news is I have the camera to try to hopefully figure it out. Also, coffee break because iced coffee is delicious. This will go there. Okay, I'm gonna try to reverse stack this, which might be structurally unsound. So we have our tutorial guide, which this I like. I like the concept of this. I like the concept of a guide that walks you through the rules. Which again, this was fairly straightforward. Although that's not true. That's not true. That's a blatant lie. This was similar enough that if you played Too Many Bones, there are elements that will be familiar to you. The way you upgrade your character, the general sequence of the arc over here, but there are differences as well. Even the way the enemies act to a degree, but there are lots of differences at the same time. So if you're familiar with Too Many Bones, you are coming in with a bit of an advantage, although disadvantage too, because you also have to unlearn things at the same time. But I do like the way they have this teaching guide. I've liked that any game that's ever done like a teaching guide, I've appreciated that concept and like it a lot. So this is fun. We're going to use this to dive back into it. I have so many things to do this weekend, but now I have to play this because our good friend Jeremy Howard over at Man vs. Meeple also has a copy, and I guarantee you he's playing this. He's playing this the whole weekend over here. I need to play better games. I play good games. I need to play better games. We have our rulebook, which is 96 freaking pages long. Okay, maybe I'll play the worst games after all. 96 pages. Jeez, man. See, here's the problem. I have said so many times on record for the record, I've said so many times that Too Many Bones I think is going to be more intricate than Elder Scrolls, but I think Elder Scrolls is a drop more accessible, and that's a good thing. I didn't know it had a 96-page rulebook. Now I don't know, let's go ahead to the page, here you got components over here, I don't know how much of this you actually have to read, because it says how to use this book. The book presents the comprehensive rules. It is organized both to teach the game. The book includes numerous examples, gameplay examples. Many examples are based on extended narrative parts for a session. They also appear in the tutorial guide. Does it say we have to read it? For your first playthrough, strongly recommend you use the tutorial guide to follow these examples. Just familiar yourselves to the helpful index, foundation rules. Okay. I can't tell if you're supposed to officially read this rulebook. it is not clear to me, because I'm not reading every word, I'm trying to be brief over here. It's not clear to me whether you read every single thing over here, but this is a little intimidating as far as the sheer amount. We have 96 pages of rules. We have adventure rules, additional rules, battle rules, lots of battle rules. Holy hell, how many battle rules? Game phases, adventure rules. Okay, so, chip theory. I feel like a stupid person who said this game is more accessible than too many bones. And maybe it still is. But 96 pages. That kind of rhymed. I like that rhymed. Maybe it still is, but 96 pages is too much for one person to read. Unless you're Jeremy Howard and it's Man vs. Meeple and me. Anyways, we have the gazetteer over here. We got more rules for you. These are going to be the actual, the various locations you're going to. So you have different options you can go to as far as the locations, these caravans and whatnot. Not caravans, I don't always say caravans. You're going to locations and you have these interactions. So this just represents the various things. You don't have to read this at all. This is going to be something you deal with as it comes up. So no rules that you need to know over here. But moving on there, we have, I'm sorry, I lied. I didn't lie, I just didn't finish the sentence. We have more of them. We have the Black Marsh Gazetteer over here, because again, basically, when you have those overland maps, when you have something like this over here, let me pull this out. When we have the Western Black Marsh over here, and you want to go to the Root Whisperer Village, which is over here, you go to the Root Whisperer Village, you're going to open up this page and deal with this. Every single one of these villages, not every location spot, but every village represents a page in one of their respective books, which means there are probably 6 of these. And right about now, we're about to find out whether I can count correctly. We got 2 more. This will go out of here. And then likely 2 more. Okay, my math is wrong. We got 6 maps, but we have High Rock, Cyrodiil, Morrowind, Western Black Marsh, Eastern and Western Skyrim were in one single book. That's why. So my math was wrong, but, well, my math is right. The presentation that they put out was different. I can't say it's wrong. It's their presentation. But anyways, let's go ahead and put this back over here and then continue on to other things. Now, I don't even know what we're going to see today because we're going to see a bunch of chips. We saw a whole bunch of these books. It's a lot of information. We have your little skills references that you're going to go through over here, giving you quick access to all the skills you need. I'm going to toss this off to the side because these are waterproof anyway. I don't know the protective coating and all that. So we have enemy skills reference over here. Your native skill reference, we have 2 of these, so I assume if you're playing 2 players, you're covered. If you're playing 3 or more, you can share. I believe it plays up to 4. 1 to 4 players. Then we have our fun bits. Now fun bits, what are the fun bits consisting of? What are the fun bits consisting of? We have our day tracker, which is where your chips are going to go basically in here, and you rotate those to track, well, things. We have our individual stat things, which I'll show you how these play out, because why not? These are going to be fun, but we don't need them right now. We're going to need them in a second. They are hilts of swords, I believe. So I don't know how well you're going to see that, but that's a sword hilt, which will make sense more in a second. We have these plastic containers, because Chip Theory loves their plastic containers. And let's go ahead and take these out over here, because we have our 4 adventurer trays. Putting this all back is going to be fun. Are they the same? Nope, they are different colors. But will I show you all of them? I might. We're feeling generous. There's no miniatures today, so this would otherwise take enough time to go through. So we're going to have our adventurer tray over here, and then you have your little sword hilt, which will go onto your little sword. And this, by the way, tracks everything. The way this goes on top of your board. Okay, I lied. Because does it go this way? Nope. Because this over here, how does this go? Because this won't track your hilt. It will track it over here. So I guess that might be, because this is, I see why. So this needs to hold on to it because you might need to track that as you go. And similarly over here as well. But I guess this one and this one, you don't need to track as you go. Like this is going to be your phase during combat, so you don't actually need to track that in between phases, in between saving. So that's why these 2 don't have those. But these basically are all going to be tracked in various spots on the board. I think this is your backup plan, maybe? I can't remember exactly. Again, it's been a while. You'll be tracking your skills on these various tracks over here. And there are competing skills. You can see how there's a 1 and 3 and 1 and 3, and then a 1 and 3 in reverse. Meaning, as a skill comes from this side to this side, you kind of have to choose which way it goes. Is that okay? Now this I might have made a boo-boo. I don't know, but I did just pull this off. Hopefully, I was supposed to do that because otherwise my pre-production copy is post-production. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna have our blue one over here. So these are just to show you the colors before going back to the other one. We have our blue. We have our red adventurer. Adventurer! Make haste, adventurer! I'm going to grab this one over here, and we have our yellow. And then we're going to have our green, which is where we'll show you the various tokens as we gather various things. So those are our other 3 kits, which will go here. We have our little sword hilts. We have this, which we'll deal with shortly. But we need to find dice or chips or a combination of all of the above. There's so many things here, and I'm not going to remember. This is the part where, here, I'm going to show this on camera, because this way I can remember. So this is on camera. That's more so that if I get stuck later, I can go ahead and look and see how it's all put together. But we have this side box here, which I'm curious what's in here. Cards, cards, and more cards. Okay, we'll go through that shortly. What's in here? Cards, cards, and more cards. We'll go through that shortly. I remember there being like chips almost, although I played a prototype, so I'm wondering now if this is what I saw. Basically, you're going to have different kinds of things you can put here. But these, I think, are literally just blockers over here. Or they go into certain bars to track certain skills. Because certain skills need actual dice. Now, this is where I start relying on vague memories of different things. But certain skills needed actual dice, versus other skills just needed a tracker to measure the levels. You didn't need a specific die. You just need to say, hey, we got a little tracker there. These marbleized little things. These are beautiful, by the way. These, I should show you these. Like, these are legitimately beautiful. The gray and the black over here. They're marbleized, little marbleized. They have a nice, they're plasticky, but they're got a nice heft plasticky. I like them. They feel premium. If you want little trackers to measure your skills. But yeah, you'd put these over here. Although I need to find the actual bit that you're putting on there, because again, there should be something that goes over here. But the tricky part is trying to figure out, here we go. Okay, I found it. I also found the other thing. I found the stuff I was looking for. So I was looking for these over here, because now that I recall this over here, these will go in here. So I don't know what these are, but you're gonna have these going in different boxes in different ways. Again, I don't remember exactly, so don't hate me for not remembering. But you're gonna have like health trackers over here, so you have different skill attributes. So you can be like, oh, in archery, you know, we either have a specific skill or you're just tracking how many pips you have. But again, the further you go one way versus the other, that's going to be defining where the skill is. And you have all of these. So this whole thing over here is gonna be chock full of all the various skills and attributes and things you can dump in there. But this is a nice little container. These are nice little bits. I do like the chunky, plasticky dice situation. Let's see if we can put these back over here. One more in there. We also have these for our, don't remember exactly, these dice over here. These actually have different sides. So they have that side over there, and they also have this miss side. Oh, it looks like they only have the 1 and 2. No, they also have a 2. They have a 2. So they have a 1, 2, and miss, it looks like. So 1, 2, 1 miss, and the rest of them are 1s. So pretty straightforward dice, but I can't remember what they're for because it's been a while. But we have the skills, which will all go into your little player sheet. You'll be tracking it in combat. You'll be dealing with the various baddies along the way. And then I'll show you some of the attributes as far as ways you can build out your character. And there's lots of dice, but I'm trying to desperately remember how to put this back and not lose track of everything as I go. That's what I'm trying to do as I do this. So I'm going to put this back over here. This back over here. That must go over there. Yep, we got those. So we got this, this, and this. Now these are going to be various dice for the various classes you're going to have in the game. Now let's go ahead and show you some classes first, because this might make more sense if I show you the classes. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and we'll open up this and show you some things over here. We have our campaign journal. We have our combat cards over here. So we have these are going to, let's see, let's open this if I can. There's got to be openable. There we go. On the bottom, it tricked you. We'll put this over here. These are slipping all over the place. So we have our combat over here. So this is going to give you various skills. So level 1 combat, and then level 2 combat is not there. I lied. Level 2 combat is going to be further down somewhere. Is it in here? Where is level 2 combat? So we have acrobatics level 3, acrobatics level 3. Where are the levels? Is combat going to be in here? I'm not sure exactly where it is. Maybe combat just comes in level 1. I don't know offhand. It's been a while. But over here, you're going to have a whole bunch of different skill trees. And they're going to have different dice over here showing you the different things they do. So if we find acrobatics, for example, I think acrobatics, let's say put the acrobatics thing over there. If we grab our acrobatics token, because this will be over here. So we take the acrobatics, we take the little chart, we put it off to the side of our character, and then we have the skill tree, but you also now have the dice for that skill tree. So as you earn these various things, you're going to grab various dice, which should match up. Are these the right ones? Nope, these are not the right ones. This the right one? This one looks to be the right one. It has that face over there. Yeah, so this dice over here, this is going to do this. Oh, so these, all the yellow dice will be for the different sections over here. But they are different sections. So this one is still not the right one. I'm not sure what that one is. But we have this one over here, for example. is going to be over here. Is there an acrobatics level 4? Is that what's going on? What if I switch to the side over here? Acrobatics level 4. So this is where you get to the other dice. So you have some different dice over here. So that's where you get this one, which will go over here, and you have these different faces. So it shows you different dice, the different skills they have. Again, if you have too many bones, the idea of having skill trees that are basically based on dice and how you roll those dice and assign them, that's all going to be familiar. But then you have different attributes. So, you have your bow skill, which we already saw over here, and you pull them out, and you have different dice that you can then roll. So the color of the die is going to be the color of the skill up here. You have different levels. As you can see, we have bow 1. Although, do we really only have combat 1? Like, it might just be combat's a fairly basic starting skill. I don't know. But that's going to be your entire skill thing. So all of this stuff over here, let's take that back and put it over here. But all of these are going to be different skills. So you have combat, 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 combat. Most of these are going to be different skills. Acrobatics, bow, bow again, destruction staff. So you have, I think, 2 of each, if I recall correctly, past the basic ones. And that gives everyone the chance to have different options. So you could have multiple people having different classes. But Daedric Summoning, we have Daedric Summoning Heavy Armor, we have Two-Handed, and we have Speech. And then we have acrobatics, which I took out of order the first time and is really over here. Anyways, that's going to be our whole line of skill trees over here, which we'll put back in the box. Then we'll have our little quest campaign journal back in the box. And then we'll take these over here and show you these, because these are going to be the various races or whatnot that you have. The Argonians. So we have our Argonians, which are different like, art and whatnot. Different stats or not? No, it does not look like different stats. It looks like the same stats, just different art. So you have different options for these characters. So I like the fact that they gave you 4 different pieces of art for the Argonians. So 2 people can be Argonians, but there's 4 different pieces of art you can use. We have our Bretons, and we have over here. So we have the classes, but we have individuals. So now you can be archers, or dragon knights, or templars, and all these as well. So again, tons of different class combinations. We have Imperial, High Elf, Breton, Orc, High Elf, Nord, Kite, Khajiit, and all of these. So a ton of different combinations, because you're going to combine those different things, and some of those things you can earn more of. Meaning some of them you're just going to have one of, but some of them you can earn more of as you play through the game, which gives you a ton of variability to the way you build your character and different power-ups you're going to get as you go through these quest lines. This bag I'll actually keep. Then we have, I believe these are going to be your individual quests. So these will have, I think so? I'm not sure. I think these are the individual quests you're going through, but I could be wrong. This is where I start to lose my exact memory of what I did or didn't do way back when. But we're not done yet, because we have we have more chips. We have dice to show you. Although we are probably coming to a close-ish as far as all the stuff. This was over here, I believe. Okay. We're going to show you the dice, because we got lots of dice to show. This will go back over here. This will go in here. And then these are our dice. So we just have all these dice. These are going to be all the various skill lines that you have access to in the game. And or conditions, or who knows what. We have markers and numbers. But these are all going to be tracking all the various things. So you have lots of options. And again, I'm pretty sure that this is just the core box. So if you back more than the core box, like if you back this game, I don't know if you remember, but it was not a cheap game. And this is why. Because you have a whole chunk full of everything in here. And this is the core. And then you'll also have all the expansion as well on top of that. And you have these, which won't go back in properly. There we go. Okay, they're kind of going back in now. We have our health chips over here, which I'm assuming you can get the upgraded ones. Although, again, it's been a while, so not perfectly confident. This fits mostly, but not perfectly. We have this over here, and then we're going to have our various enemy chips. So I'm going to pop this open, then we'll look at our last cards, and then I think we'll be done. That's going to be all the stuff we have for the Elder Scrolls. So I'm not showing you every last little component, but I am showing you most of what I got for you. Put that over there. And then pop all of these out. We're going to try to make them fall somewhat accurately in there. So these will be your chips or whatnot, the enemies you're facing off against. So again, if you've played something like Too Many Bones, you'll see you have your health, the different stats over here, like you have the armor, whatever these ones are, maybe defense and attack, can't recall offhand. And then we have the keywords over here and the actual person. So these are going to be the enemies you're facing off against. And you have Titan over here, the Days native or whatever. So you have this different side to it. But that's basically your typical standard enemy chip. This has to push back in there. On this side, what do we have? Oh, we have our character chips. So this is going to be based on different races and different pieces of artwork, I assume, that we chose for our characters. So it looks like there's 2 for each of these races. And again, if you back all the expansion stuff, you're going to have more of those things in the expansions. More different classes, races, skill trees, skill lines, whatever they call them. Once I did 2 of them, I may as well do all 3, because that just feels wrong too. Doing like some and not the rest. Doing 1 is one thing. Doing some is another. Put that in there, and then put these in here. And I'll show you some of those chips representing the actual character. So again, we have, you know, our various characters over here. The Argonians. Is that who these guys were? The Argonians? Don't sue me or yell at me or be mean to me. I don't know all the things chip theory. I don't know all the things Elder Scrolls. I played Elder Scrolls. I played a lot more of, was it Oblivion? The number 4, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And I played less of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Skyrim. I played less of Skyrim. That's what it was. But I did still play Skyrim. I still played Skyrim for maybe, I don't know, 40 hours. But I played Oblivion for a lot. I remember a lot about Oblivion, but it's been a very long time. Anyways, this was in here. This was in here. Those will all go in here-ish. We have our various bags, which we're going to put away as well. And then I'm going to show you some cards, and then we'll call it a day. We all call it a day, Brian. Gonna put that away. And then try to figure out exactly where everything goes. This goes in here, because it was in that mat, unfortunately. Okay, so game plan for this weekend, more Primal, and now some of this. Both of those are big games. We got cards, and cards. Now, don't know much about these cards. We're not going to go through everything over here. Let's just go ahead and open up. Oh, is this the thing? I remember reading an update a long time ago. I don't remember what it was exactly, what food item it was. I remember reading an update from Chip Theory about a food item they had created. They went through a whole journey of trying to make that food item exist or whatnot. But I don't remember the exact details. But they're talking about how the journey of a food item from, like, you know, idea all the way to execution. It might have been the Scald King's Patty Melt, but also just easily might not have been, because we have all these different items over here. We have the, let me see if I can figure out. It might have been the Scald King's Patty Melt, but let me see if I could find anything else that looks like it was that. I don't know. It wasn't these. It wasn't these. Nope. I don't think so, at least. I could be wrong. So far, I'm going with the Scald King's Patty Melt, because there were, like, I think there were conversations about the way that would be made, and could it be made, and does it fit into the universe or not. I remember all those conversations. I think it might have been the Scald King's Patty Melt. But yeah. Alright, that's going to be enough for right now. We're going to go through some of these cards. Not going to go through everything. I'm going to go and put these away, and then dive into that learn to play, how to play situation, and we'll see if I ever need to actually learn the rulebook or not. Like, I remember the original Tenaris Adventures, or the original Arena of the Contest, I should say, not actually Tenaris Adventures, but the original Arena of the Contest, when I first played it, one of the things that really impressed me about it was there was a 6-page how to play kind of guide that covered 99% of what you needed to know. And then there was like an 80-page rulebook that covered everything that you needed to know, which was interesting because you kind of could get most of what you need by not actually reading the rules, which I proceeded to do, until eventually I'd need to reference rules here and there, and so eventually I would look things up and read them, but for a long time I just didn't need to, which is nice, and I like that concept. So I don't know how much this Learn to Play guide is going to have us covered or not. I don't know. We're going to find out, but I don't know to what extent it will or won't cover. This feels like, I see what's going on. This should be on its side, but that means this needs to come out. This needs to go in on the side. There we go. You see? That works. Now this goes in properly. Now this goes on top of that properly, and that means this goes on top of this properly. All the plastic on my table needs to now be thrown out, and then we can go ahead and put this down, and it's mostly covered, which honestly is good enough, because we're going to be opening this up fairly shortly anyway. Anyways, that has been your unboxing of the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of a Second Era. I will try to have coverage on the game for you as soon as I can, but I also need to play it properly, so it's going to be post-Gen Con, I imagine, unless I get really, really, really lucky. But like right now, for context, I'm leaving for Gen Con in like 5 days. So unless I play this daily for the next 5 days, it's going to have to be post-Gen Con coverage. So I'll do what I can. I want to be first, but I also want to be responsible. So probably going to aim for responsible and have post-Gen Con coverage for you. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game & Co. Hope you enjoyed this unboxing, and as always, I hope you have a good one.